What's up, guys? So we are back. Danielle, welcome to the show. There's no name for this show, but I thought I would interview you since it's been like over a year since we've last chatted on an official podcast, sort of style episode. I know a lot has changed with the business, right? With My Goodies and where it's at today. And I think you've had the time to really go in depth with the people who follow you on just kind of where you're at and what you're up to, and maybe even tell us some of the journey over the last year, which kind of got you here today.
Well, it's nice to be back. Yeah, the business has changed quite a bit. Uh, when I first started this journey, pursuing my goodies full time, it was mainly focused on customs, like cakes, the cookies, all love, and the decorated cookies. But yes, because this is a journey, I knew there'd be changes or pivots or tweaks that I needed to make to the business. Uh, and that's exactly what happened. Things changed quite a bit. Coffee is a big, big part of my business now. And I knew it would eventually make its way into the business because coffee and dessert and treats go hand in hand, right? And I myself love coffee. But I owe the coffee addiction that I have, to my days as a barista at Google. You know, I just really got hooked there, making my own lattes, really loved the whole process, the smell, the taste of it. And of course, that caffeine high. But
So you were a barista for a while.
yes, I was a barista a long while, but for about 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I did that while I was waiting for a position to open up in the teaching kitchen where I first had cook.
Yeah. It's funny because when you and I first met, I had a Keurig at home, and you're like, "Ooh, Keurig?"
Yeah, that's
I was
pretty
always
much.
just a regular coffee drinker, and then you told me about the Nespresso, and then I ended up buying an Nespresso,
Yeah.
and then ever since then,
Well, I made you a coffee
you made
on
me
my
one on
Nespresso
your Nespresso,
that
and
I
you brought it
had.
to me.
You picked me up, I brought it out, and you're like, "What is this?" Like, "Oh, it's from an espresso." So
Yeah,
I think that weekend went to
I was
buy one.
blown away,
Yeah,
and I was trying to win you over as well at the same time. So I
yeah,
was like,
try to impress.
so I bought this dope all black, matte black. It's pretty cool. It's an espresso actually.
Yeah,
And it's done its job for the last couple of years. Definitely stepped up the coffee game. And so I think I knew that about you, like when we first met, like you really loved your coffee. Is that really what made you want to go the coffee route? Is it just because you just love the coffee, or were you already thinking like, hey, cookies go with coffee, or was that even in your mind when you first like started
when I first started
my
my
goodies, or
goodies,
even when
or
you first went full time? Like,
when I first went full time, that it wasn't on my mind uh, for that first year of business. Sitting down business planning at the beginning of the year when I first left.
hmm
My plans for the business looked a lot different than they are now. Um, but yeah, that wasn't in my mind for this year. But it just naturally, I'm always, I guess, just like to be a student. Always like to learn. Always like to learn in business, and I guess keep up with the trends, I would say. And so, yeah, I thought.
yeah, definitely. So adding the beverages, right? So what was that journey like? Did you start off right away with the coffee, or what was the?
I started with a tap card. I actually took or paid for a coaching call with a girl down in SoCal. Shout out to Cynthia from Always Kind Coffee. That was huge. I started watching her videos and TikToks and everything, and I'm like, I can do that too. I want to do that. I want to add that to my business. So I started out with the tap cart, which is like a beer tap. But I was serving cold brew and matcha. Uh, it was definitely a low investment, low startup cost for that tap cart. And I kind of wanted to see, if people were even interested,
Mhm.
if I can get bookings. And yeah, so that started in July of this year. I launched the tap cart. And at the end of the month, at the end of July, I did my first my first pop-up. And from there, I booked my first corporate gig from somebody who was at that
Crazy.
pop-up. And
Yeah, I guess.
it's all just been
Domino,
a domino effect, full steam
snowball.
ahead
Yeah.
from there. I don't, yeah, whatever.
Okay. So the tap cart, and then you did your first pop up. What was the first pop up like?
The first pop-up, oh my gosh, it was crazy. It was definitely nerve-wracking. I didn't have any coffee that day, and my heart was, I don't know, beating like at 120 freaking beats per minute that whole morning of setting up and everything. Just because there's a lot that goes into the setup, number one. Number two, not knowing how, people would respond to it or if they'd like it. And you were there helping me learn the CO2 and
Yeah.
pressures and setting up the taps.
Chat GPT is your
Chat
friend.
GPT really helped us too. I can't forget chat. Yeah. So that really helped us out a lot. But yeah, even getting there, that first event setting up was like nerve wracking. And then, I got cold brew spraying out of one
I
one of
remember
the
that.
one of the faucets, and I'm like, just things that you can't really learn until you're like in it doing it.
Yeah.
Cynthia had given me her advice and tips. I'd watched a ton of videos on how to set this stuff up and did my own research, used chat, and that just nothing could prepare you till you're actually in the moment. And now I feel like, I could do the tap cart in my sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because I remember when you were putting the tap cart together. Your brother made your cart. Shout out to Rich, right?
Rich made it. Yeah,
Rich
made
made.
the cart.
And we were trying to, like, I've never messed around with the tap cart or the CO2 thing. Oh, to be honest, I'd probably tell you this. I was like nervous. Like, I was like, dude, I don't want to mess this up. I was like, yeah, go ahead. I'll figure it out. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
you
I was
did.
like, chat GPT, watching videos and stuff like that. And I was like, the CO2 thing, I was like, what if it blows up or something?
That's what I pictured. I pictured one of our hands blowing off or exploding in someone's face.
Yeah.
Just the worst. Yeah.
And so I remember we were at home kind of testing it out, YouTubing, all kinds of stuff. And we finally got it to work. I was like, this
Yeah, it worked pretty
works.
good.
But that was at home. And then when we went to the event, I was trying to put it together, turn it on, and then the freaking coffee started spraying everywhere. Was it
Yeah.
matcha or something? Started
Cold
squirting out
brew.
everywhere, right?
Yeah. I think I have a little short video of your face.
And I
when
looked
that
at
was
you and I
happening.
was like,
You're like
oh.
so freaked out. I felt bad.
Yeah. And it was just something that wasn't tight.
It wasn't tight, and the little handle, the beer tap handle, I didn't tighten it
Yeah.
properly.
Because I was like, oh shoot, like I didn't want to mess it up for you. I was like a little bit nervous. But then once we got that like going, it
Yeah,
seemed to
after
just
that
work.
first one, it was pretty good.
Yeah. So tap cart, July, and then talk about how you landed the corporate account.
Oh, yeah.
As much as you could say, I don't know, with the
Yeah, how I landed the corporate account. Well, social media has played a really big part in my business and my business growth, I think. That, and I guess just readying myself as much as I could. While things were slow, I'd work on my website. I'd try to post content a lot. I was just putting myself out there even when I felt like nobody was watching and nobody, I felt like some days I felt like I was selling to the same 5 people and they were like, no, not today, and
Yeah.
but still I had to kind of just keep going and pushing and venting and crying to you or, praying for sure. That God would guide me and that he would, lead me and meet the right people and to bring the right people in my life. That was always a big prayer of mine. And yeah, just a big support system, I think, too, plays a role. And just work your network of people. Hey, if you know anybody looking for this, I do this now. I can send you some information, and just being really consistent with that. And yeah, so how the corporate contract came about was actually a result of me being at that first pop-up that I did with my tap cart.
oh wow.
Because at that event, I brought cookies with me, and yeah, I had the tap cart there all nice and set up. And my sister had done an event actually at this corporate company that I now have the contract with. She did a bartending event with a friend of mine. Shout out Sips for the party. She did a bartending event there, and they connected with the the administrative business partner there, the person who's in charge of booking things like that. So, long story short, he starts following them on social media, okay, Instagram. And then, so we're at this event, the pop-up, the first pop-up, and my sister posts like content of my cart, shouting me out. And yeah, that person inquired with her, oh, she does cookies, I might need those. And I'm like, okay, there's an in. So my sister tells me, go follow this person. I just told him about your cookies and your tap cart. And I'm like, right away, I followed up with him. I'm like, hey, my sister said you might be looking for some cookies. I didn't waste any time. It might have been there at the event that I quickly sent a message. And from there, it was just looking for the right questions to ask, not being afraid to ask questions. That's always been a big thing for me. Like, always ask, because if you don't ask, the answer is going to be no anyways. Don't be afraid to ask. So
you got your foot in the door to host an event there, right?
to host an event there. Okay, yes.
With the tap cart and the
For
cookies.
the tap cart. Yes. So we did the tap cart event and the tap cart and cookie package there.
Yeah.
And blew everybody away. I kind of knew, the type of client that I was going into serving this day, because I knew what they kind of expected of you, the level of hospitality and service that they appreciate, because I worked at Google for, I don't know, 7 years, total of 7 years. Bon appetit for Google. And yeah, just knew that client very well, or that type of client anyway. And yeah, he ended up asking, hey, do you guys do hot coffee as well? And I'm like, not yet, but the goal is to, I go, the goal is to buy a hot coffee machine, get that whole setup by the end of this year for sure. And I had known, just because I think he mentioned it in one of our conversations, that he had a contract with a coffee company from San Francisco maybe. And I was like, I don't have one yet, but I'm looking to set something up. And then I asked, why are you looking to replace your current contract with that other company?
Yeah.
And he goes, possibly, let's chat about it some more. So yeah, just asking the right questions and not being afraid to put myself out there.
Yeah.
He could have said no, rejected me, how presumptuous of you to ask a question like it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could have just went the wrong way, but it's kind of just like learning to read the room, also learning to understand people, and just an all around, I don't know, being observant, I guess, and reading the room.
Yeah. I think what I've realized, it's all the pieces of the puzzle that got you that, right? Like, you worked at Google, so you're familiar with what they expect, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, your products are really good. Your cookies are really good. The tap cart was really good. The drinks you were serving. And then just the whole vibe that you bring to the table, right? Just being super cool, super down to earth, which you naturally are. It's like when you put all those pieces of the puzzle together, someone's seeing that's the whole package right there of what they would want, to have at their company.
Yeah, and then sometimes I wish I could see myself and my business through other people's eyes, because I get, a lot of good feedback from past clients, and I'm listening to them, give me, compliments or complimenting the service, and I'm like, thank you. But me being I don't know what the correct word to describe myself would be, but I'm super hard on myself. Number one, nothing's like ever good enough for me, but I'm not that way with other people, just myself. Like, I will give other people compliments and be really appreciative of things that people do, and I'm like, wow, genuinely like, wow, this is so awesome. Like, good job. But when it comes to myself and me talking to myself, it's kind of one of my toxic traits. I'm like, could have done better. Or, all right, that's cool, but you're not there yet. And so
how have you overcome that?
I guess trying to journal more, just reminding myself, like, I guess giving myself my flowers, those flowers, and telling myself, hey, this is, not by coincidence. Yes, this is a big opportunity that has come your way. But I'm just I try to give myself credit to it and remind myself, like, hey, this is not luck. This is not by chance. Like, throughout all the years, you've worked hard, you've set yourself up, you've worked on your marketing, your website, whatever it is. Like, don't discredit yourself, is what I tell myself. I have to really say that out loud sometimes. I'm like, you deserve this. Like, you
Yeah.
worked hard for years. You deserve it, and even the branding, your website, everything. He's like, it's on point. I go, really? I go, I feel like it's not there. He goes, no. He goes, it's
Yeah.
amazing. It's part of the reason why I even wanted to book you, and the reason why I'm interested in possibly having you, sign a contract with you.
Yeah.
So it's not just, like, because anybody can send an opportunity your way from someone they know, but are you ready to receive that? Are you ready to take that on? Are you ready to execute it and just kill it?
Yeah. Well, we're our own worst critics, right? Because
Yeah.
we're only looking from inside out, right? Not from the outside in, but I think what you said, like journaling and reflecting, right? Whatever that looks like, taking the time every once in a while to just reflect on all the great things that are happening, then
Mm-hmm.
it kind of like, okay, you can start to see it now, right?
Yeah.
Because you're just in go, go, go mode all the time. And we don't really take time often to reflect, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like as an entrepreneur, you have to build that into your routine so that you can have those moments, to really see the progress and see the journey and see how far you've come. Because then once you see that, that like kind of lights a spark under you to keep going, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you're just always looking at what you haven't done, right, then it's really easy to kind of, become like jaded to that whole process, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I know there's a lot of work to get the contract, right? Maybe just give me like a brief overview, or what were some of the steps, right? Like, because it started off with just getting the opportunity, right? What were some of the steps to now finally earn that contract, right?
Some of the steps to earning that contract, yeah, we had the initial conversation like, oh, maybe, yeah, maybe you could take over this contract. Maybe you'd be interested. I guess what came about, set up a proposal,
Yeah,
like, for such a big opportunity like this. Again, Chat GPT helped a lot. Just, you helped a lot. We kind of brainstormed together on it. I mean, yeah, going into it with confidence, knowing like the market and your competitors' pricing. So I think that helped out a lot.
yeah, because you were researching, right?
Yeah,
Researching other companies, seeing what they charge, so that you can come up with your own proposal, right? And then, me from running my business, I understand profit margins and all that stuff, and
yeah,
trying to help educate
yeah,
you on that so you don't sell yourself short too,
yeah.
right? What was that like for you? Like learning that side of the business for you?
That was eye-opening for sure. Now, looking back at it, I realize how important it is because, I went through years and years of my goodies, like selling cookies, selling cakes, whatever, and not really thinking about that. What the hell was I thinking? There's no way I could have scaled the business like that or known if I was truly, making a profit. Most of the time my labor was probably free. Sure, I covered the cost of my cost of goods, my ingredients,
Yeah,
but like I was probably losing money on not paying myself enough.
yeah,
But so knowing that and learning all that profit and margin and learning about that has been like big, and I understand how important it is. So it wasn't always fun. It's not always the most attractive or exciting thing to think about or dig into, but it's absolutely necessary.
yeah. It's funny because we were like talking the other day, and what did you say? You're like, I feel like a boss now or something. You said something. We were
Did
making a
I?
joke, but you said something about like you've learned all of this stuff, and you feel like you get it now.
Yeah.
A lot more of the business side of it,
Yeah.
right? Because I mean, when I first met you and I was like looking at your business, I knew you were talented. I knew like like make really good products and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And that's great, but then if you don't have the business fundamentals to put
Hmm.
together with that, you're only going to go so far.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I feel like you've really, grown, and you've had to, because as you stepped into this contract, you've had to really understand how all that stuff works.
Yeah, not even just into the contract. Yes, for sure, that's a big one, but check coming
Hmm.
in, like I was going to have to hustle and grind and make sure I had money to, pay the bills and take care of myself. Had just got a new car like a year before. So I was like, freak. So yeah, it was absolutely necessary to make sure that I was spending my time wisely. Like, I think you advised me on this. Like, you have to create a schedule for each day for your day, otherwise, like, no random coffee dates, no shopping here and there. Like, you're gonna realize quick that your days are wasted fast like that, and you're not really focusing on what's important. Um, so, yeah, so learning how to spend my time wisely and eliminating things that didn't bring in a good return, on
Yeah.
my time invested, having to eliminate those because I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and make like 2 dozen sugar cookies that take me, the decorated ones, the really fancy ones that take me, I don't know, 8 hours and make like only $200 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, business wise, that's not gonna help me make money.
Yeah. It's not going to allow you to create the
Bro.
type of income to really have, the lifestyle that you want to have. I
Yeah,
mean, you'll make a little bit, but it's,
that's a question you had asked at the beginning too, when I first left. You're like, okay, how much do you want to bring in monthly? And I put that number down on paper. And you're like, okay, let's work backwards. What do you have to make and produce per month to make that amount of money? I'm
yeah,
like 500 cakes, like
that's so
10
crazy.
pop-ups a month. And I'm like, at first I was like, oh yeah, maybe I can do it. And then I shortly realized that, or quickly realized that wasn't gonna happen. That was
Yeah.
not, yeah, it just wasn't gonna last. I was last like,
I'm glad we did that because I remember that when we did that exercise, and I remember you were having a hard time with it, um, trying to figure it all out and I remember you were a little frustrated, right?
yeah,
But I'm glad we did that because then it helped you really understand the value of your time
yeah,
and how time equals money, right? Especially when you're self-employed. Like if you spend your
mhm,
time on this, when you could be spending your time on this, that's going to make you 5 times more money.
yeah,
Then you start putting a value to your time.
yeah,
And most of us don't realize that. Like we just do. You just do stuff and stay busy. Um, and that's even an exercise we do with our company, with the agents on our team is what's your dollar per hour, based off how many hours you work, based off what your income goals are and stuff like that. But it's a really eye-opening exercise.
yeah. It sure was.
Oh, okay. So let's talk about the you servicing the corporate company now, and then you've done other gigs too,
Yeah,
right?
other corporate
Yeah.
events. Yeah,
And so is that like the direction you want to continue to grow in?
it is. Yes. Usually corporate companies don't bat an eye when I send those quotes out, so that's nice too. But mostly I love the corporate events because, yeah, they are during Monday through Friday, during the week, and it allows me to feel like I, still have a life weekends, and I'm
Yeah.
not just like buried in events or orders,
Yeah.
So that's been big. I've loved that. I've been getting a lot of corporate events. Not to say I'm not open to like weddings on the weekends or anything like that. That could be fun too, but right now this is working out great, especially because I have the big corporate that contract with the tech company, and so yeah,
They're more predictable too,
yeah,
right? Because you know what time you're going to clock in, clock out. You know what you're getting paid already up front, right? Like
yeah.
remember we tried to do a pop-up one time at the mall.
Yeah, that was hard because yeah, the pop-ups are hard. Pop-ups are fun. They're a good way to network, but they are hard because especially if you don't know the demographic of people that are going to be swinging by, like how much foot traffic you get, you can end up losing a lot of, money on those
And
your
time.
time, overbuying on products because you think, or the person hosting it thinks, oh yeah, it's going to be a busy day today, and then it turns out it wasn't.
Yeah.
but they're not always a complete waste of time. I guess there's something to learn in every single, situation or every event. I'm always learning. Like that first pop-up that I did, um, I really didn't make any money, but then I landed this corporate event. That was my first corporate event with the
Yeah.
tap cart. So in that way, and for networking purposes, like it was a huge success.
Yep.
So I'm not saying that, I never want to do them. Sure, here and there it works out, but and they're good for networking and meeting people. But yeah, the paid events or the corporate events are they're a lot more predictable, when it's a booked event. How long you're going to be there, how much you need to bring with you, and there's no wasted product. And so that's nice, you can track the numbers.
Yeah. Absolutely. But yeah, I think you're right, right? Like because I've been with you at all these events, right? And I'm learning with you too. I think that's the other thing too that I just love business in general, right? So learning about your business has also been exciting to me. I'm over here watching like podcasts and YouTube videos, even when you're not around, like coffee businesses and all this stuff. This way I can try to give you, good advice. But I think the pop-ups, I think you're right. They're good for brand exposure, right? It's good to go out there and get your name out there, even if it's not so profitable, but it could lead and open a
Yeah,
door to something else, which is there was one we did at the mall where it was like it's
yeah,
kind of dead that day,
yeah,
right? But it was a good learning experience too,
yeah,
right?
yeah. There's something to learn from every experience for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. Okay, so you just had your goodies and gratitude event. What was that all about and why'd you do that?
Who actually recommended I do it? Yeah, that I do it. And you said, early on, you wish you would have done more things like this at the time you started your business. And like, babe, I really think you should do something. And I'm like, okay. And, you know, thinking about it now, I'm like, I almost wish I wouldn't have done it like smack dab in the middle of the holiday season.
Yeah.
Christmas is next week, and I just did the event Sunday, but I did it, yeah, to exactly, how it's titled, to express my gratitude to, past clients and just show everybody how much I appreciate it, and appreciate their support throughout the years, on a big scale or on a large scale, just every every, positive comment or post of encouragement that I've received from people, or just seeing people show up for you really refreshes your mind to reflect on your reasons why you're doing it, why you love this so much, why you work so hard. So, yeah, it was a really fun time. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad, we had a good turnout, and everybody seemed to be enjoying themselves, enjoying the coffee that Marie was making. She's the best, and it's my barista. And yeah, I'm really glad I did it, and I'm looking forward to next year's already. And I already have all kinds of ideas. Again, you're always learning something, all kinds of ideas on what I would do different next year or what I can include.
Yeah, I think that was awesome, right? I mean, just taking like the recipe from our business of just these client appreciation events that have been key to our success year over year is just staying in touch with the people who support you, right?
Mm.
And because then it leads to like opportunities, right? Or keeping you top of mind.
Yeah.
So I was like, I mean, we do that in our real estate business. Why wouldn't you do that in your
Yeah.
business, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it
I
made a hundred.
actually had a Google come by because she follows me on Instagram. She found me from one of my reels, and she's like, I just thought I'd come by. She's like, we're always looking for coffee carts or different vendors. And I wanted to come see you. And I'm like, I'm so glad you did, So there's another, good reason for doing things like this. Like, put yourself out there, your people, your clients, spread the word.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what do you want to tell everybody listening? Like, what's your focus now going forward? What should people be hitting you up for? This is your chance to now promote yourself. Like, what are you looking for in the new year? What type of business do you want to do? What type of event, stuff like that?
Yeah. I'm definitely looking to sign more contracts with other tech companies or other companies in general who, know that they want to have coffee carts or cookie vendors at their events, on a frequent basis. So I'm definitely looking into signing more contracts, booking more corporate events. Like I said, I'm not opposed to doing weddings. I love everything about weddings. We're going to get married next year. Speaking of. So that's
We're having coffee at the wedding.
yeah, we're gonna have coffee at the wedding for sure. Affogatos maybe too. I saw your legs shaking when I said we're getting married next year.
It
They
wasn't
started to
shaking.
shake. But yeah, looking forward to servicing more events next year. If you have any events coming up soon, head to my website, reach out.
So tell them, like, what is it like when you host an event, right? What do you bring in there? What can they
Yeah,
expect? You
yeah.
know,
So
what's the setup like?
yes, I really like to make it as easy as possible on the client, right? You're not worried about anything. Let me worry about everything. I'm gonna get, the cart there. I have a reliable, like, and skilled barista. The guests are happy. Visually, the cart and everything just brings an elevated touch and feel to your event, and that's the feedback I've been getting from anyone who's booked, me for their event. Always a good vibe that we bring in. Yeah, just adding something special.
Yeah. And what I like about your carts is you bring like the style, you style them up, they're
Yeah,
decorated, stuff like that. It really does bring an elevated vibe to the event.
it
You know what
does.
I
It
mean?
does. Yeah,
You
definitely.
bring your flair to it, right? And
Yeah, yeah. That's my goal there. I mean, I myself, like as a consumer of things like this, or someone who's been to an event where they've had I don't know, a dessert vendor, a coffee vendor. I appreciate those things, and I appreciate the extra mile these businesses go to bring a better experience. And so I'm like, okay, I love to receive I love all the little details, so when I'm pouring, servicing an event, I serve it out of this cup. Whatever it is,
yeah.
just the little things end up adding up to a really great experience.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, it's good to catch up. It's exciting because I feel like as you're talking about this, I'm like just visualizing all these like steps that you've gone through. And obviously, I'm really proud of you. It's awesome to see your journey.
Yeah.
I'm part of it, for $0 an hour,
Yeah.
right?
You're not getting a
I'm
raise
not getting a
anytime soon.
raise, but I really enjoy being a part of it, right? As much as I can. And it's awesome to see your growth. Just excited just to see you keep crushing it, keep killing it. You're one of the hardest workers that I know, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I gotta tell you, it's time to stop working,
Yeah. Yeah.
but that's all we got, guys. Thanks for tuning in.